Welcome to season 3 of For Mannerless Women. We are back and it feels incredible. I'm your host, Adelle Onyango, and this is a space where we're committed to nurturing a new generation of shame-free women who are ready to meet their best selves. And to set us off on our shame-free journey in the most inspiring way is mental health advocate and content creator. We love her to death, Lydia KM. Thank you for making time to be with us on the show. We've wanted you on For Mannerless Women for the longest time. I think because of the incredible work that you do, but also how open you are about seeking wellness, seeking healing, which is something that, you know, just as legally clueless, we're really passionate about.
Yeah, so that's like, our crossover.
That's our person there. Yeah. So thanks for coming on. Let's talk therapy.
A topic I never talk about.
Yes.
Let's start.
This is like new to you, right?
This is new. What is this?
When was the first time you went in to see a therapist? And like, what was the reason? What were the emotions there?
Yeah. So I first went to therapy April 2022. And I've got to say it was a long search because I had made that as my goal in 2022. And I started in January, but there is nowhere in Kenya to go and look for, like, you know, therapists. So it was like, oh, tell me about this one. You do this. And also it's still not yet, wasn't as popular then.
Yeah.
So it was just murky waters.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Nancy, sent me a screenshot that somebody had just posted. It was just like name and number. I was like, wait, so I'm supposed to call all of these people and find out what they do, what it's about, what their rates are. And because of that, it took longer. It was boring for me to do it, right? But April 2022, I remember when I called the number of my first therapist and I spoke to her and I was like, yes, because I've done a lot of my own work, I needed someone who had like a sense of a tone of authority, right? Like, I just don't know. I chose her by energy. And I say that you're gonna know. Yeah. You will know.
When you know, you know.
When you know, you know. So, and the reason why I had gone was because I felt like I had helped myself enough. I am a self-work girly. I am in there, in the mud, doing it, slinging it, going through the trauma work or whatever. So to the best of my ability by that time, I felt like I needed more support. I felt like I was hitting some kind of personal wall on progress. So I went in there, but the key thing was that I had drawn some boundaries with my dad. And I went to her because I wanted to know whether or not I was drawing those boundaries out of love or out of pain. That was my key question to start therapy. When she asked me, why did you decide to start? That was a key question. And when we now went into it, the biggest aha was she asked me, what's wrong with creating boundaries from a place of pain? She's like, boundaries are telling us something isn't okay and we need to protect ourselves. So it actually makes more sense that you would create a boundary because you're being hurt or you're in pain. So first of all, that was like,
because if you're feeling good, you wouldn't need, you wouldn't even recognize that the boundary is lost there.
Or maybe what I wanted was like the boundaries to be more from a place of, I love you and you love me and we all love each other. We just want to create this beautiful circle of boundaries. I wanted it to be that way because I had some fears about conflict and things like that. So first of all, giving me consent to do that. Because she told me, if you break your leg, you call the hospital. Something is wrong, something needs to be done. And also boundaries aren't permanent. They're just like, right now I'm not safe. I don't feel good. Here are my boundaries.
We can revisit later.
And we can revisit later. I cried so much in that therapy. I cried. Because even when you speak to your friends or your parents or whoever you're close with, whether you like it or not, you are aware of how they will feel.
Yes.
Because it's a thing. It's a relationship. But this one, so I'm paying you to come and trauma dump on you. Done.
You're getting it all. I'm not censoring myself.
I'm not censoring. I am not trying to manage how you're going to feel. It is actually your job to hear me through this. And since then, I have no shut up about therapy.
Yeah.
Because I know how self-aware I am, how intuitive I am, how keen I am on self-introspection and work. And I've seen what therapy has done for me. And I just feel like everyone should experience it. I don't like to maybe just go out and say like talk therapy is the only one or whatever. And I used to be that way. I used to be like, go and talk to someone. But I'm realizing we are all formed very differently and maybe different forms of therapy work. But I say everyone should at least try.
Yeah,
Just
try
and find whatever it is that works for you. And since then, my life is
that
different.
is incredible, right? Because I think also one thing that I love talk therapy, but I also am very open to like trying out other things. So I've done body talk therapy, which was just incredible work. In season 1, we spoke to the actual practitioner who did the session for me, because it was something about releasing my nervous system without my mind even being aware things are happening. It was out of this world and very spiritual. I feel like you would like it, but
I feel like I would.
I feel like you would really like that one. But what I love about talk therapy is the lack of shame. When we say a safe space, I think we just keep saying that. But like with the right therapist who's not projecting their own bias, when you say what it is you're going through, there's no... It's like nothing. My current therapist, there's nothing that freezes her. Like, it's nothing that freezes her. And that is powerful because we don't have enough spaces like that. Did you shop around? Did you date around? Like, it's similar to dating, right? Finding your first therapist. Because I remember my first time in therapy was probably I was 19, 20. And my mom was helping me find the right therapist. And we went to like 2.
Okay.
One was very religious. I was just like, hey man, I feel like I love that for you, but we're not on the same page. And I think the third therapist, I walked into a room and it was like bright colors and pillows. And I was like, this is the one. This feels like me. Was that the experience for you, or did you make many calls before?
I think it was mostly calls, but I had a very clear idea of who I wanted. So I wanted a woman who was about 5 to 6 years older than me. I knew that. So I wanted someone who's not so far out that when I say Instagram story, she's like, huh?
How does it work?
What is the Instagram? That I felt like that's too far. And I also, I wasn't trying to project my mother stuff here. So that's that. I knew it was going to be a woman because that's full stop.
We get it.
I feel like I feel safest there. You know, there's like these male-female dynamics that start to play. And I think for me, I didn't want any of that in therapy. So it's because I had that. And also because I said I wanted someone who had a bit of authority, because I want to be able to listen to you and take in what you're saying, because I know that I know enough and I know how I operate. So I just made a few calls. I would call someone. Just by their voice, I'm like, no, that voice doesn't sound like a voice I'm going to listen to and take any kind of command on. The second thing I was looking for is a certain sense of assertiveness, and also someone who didn't feel like they were looking for business. I want you to know that you're good. You trust yourself. And when I called her, I called my previous therapist, Michelle. She spoke. It was concise. It was like, can I help you? It was like very open. She wasn't trying to search out or anything. It was just very neutral and calm. And I was just like, that's it. That's her. I chose her from that. And she was my therapist up until about July this year, actually. I just started with another one. Incredible.
And what was the greatest or the most important work that you've done in therapy? Like when you look back and you're like, for me, it's always been boundaries. Like when I look back, I'm like, that's the one. Like that's the most important work I've ever done. What would that be?
Boundaries was actually part of my self-work. That was before therapy. I realized, so there was a scenario with an ex-boyfriend of mine where his friend was clearly breaching my boundaries, but a boundary which he did not know was even a boundary. Even my ex didn't. But I started projecting onto my ex about him standing up to me, to his friend. And I had this really big blow, and I remember exactly where I was. And the next morning I woke up, I was just like, I rather project that responsibility onto him because I know I can't do it. And I remember when I set the boundary, I remember where I was sat. I remember what I said. It was so emotionally life-changing.
Yes.
I remember exactly where I was. And I was kind, I was compassionate. I spoke about what it is that wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
When I did that, I was like, oh, so there's a new world.
Yeah.
There's a different way of existing. And the empowerment of doing that was incredible. So now when I got into therapy, I kind of had already dealt with a lot of that. Oh my God, how dare you ask me the most important one? How dare you?
Is it all the above?
Oh my goodness, because currently we are deconstructing shame. And it is making me this fearless, formidable woman that I don't even know. It's because it gets better. It keeps getting better. But maybe I would say is because I'm a highly sensitive person, highly intuitive. I wasn't given the tools to navigate through my emotional world. So I would say the most important thing has been being able to feel, process my emotions on my own without looking for other people, without projecting it outward. Being able to navigate my emotional world on my own has been, I think, the undercurrent that has helped everything else. So even if it's like managing anger, boundaries, shame, but are you able to feel and process and not analyze your emotions? Feel, process, be with them, with your own.
Yeah.
That I think is the most important work.
That is very important work, because I think for a while I also used to like intellectualize. And I have all the terminology for it.
Chat. What is it I'm feeling? Not.
Yeah. I even would go to why before feeling it.
Yes,
I'll
for
be
sure.
like, yeah, this is because of that. And then it's like, whoop, or let's
We're
keep
done.
moving,
We go.
right? And you have a crash out or you have a breakdown and it's like, where is
so
this
we
from?
haven't been feeling.
You know what I mean? So I think that's very important.
Yeah, being able to go into my body. And when you are maybe a little girl and you are so confused about your emotions, being in your body is such a scary place.
Yeah.
Because it's too much. You know, like it's too much is going on. But being able to be here and know that an inner child work, my inner child, I don't give my emotional self to anyone now because that's my inner child I'm giving to.
Yeah.
And being the responsible parent of my inner child I am now, I've got to pick and choose who gets to hold. So being able to, okay, we're feeling sad. Can we name that? Can we sit? Don't move. Don't pick up your phone. Don't ask why. Don't ask what. That has been really empowering for me.
I'm wondering what, and before I even get to that, it's so funny that you talk about this because there's a psychologist or psychiatrist I was listening to who was talking about be aware of even when you feel the feeling, like where is it? Where's the sensation, right? And it's like, okay, I feel it in my gut.
Do you feel lots in your gut?
Yes.
It's my chest for me.
Yeah, and they're like, where's your spot? And there's some people who feel it around their belly button.
Feet. Yeah. Sometimes my feet get like vibraty sometimes.
Isn't that like incredible?
Amazing. Yeah,
it's
and like
incredible.
body scanning when something comes up so that I know what that is, you know? Like those little things that seem so insignificant are a lot. I was telling you just now, I feel too good. And I don't think we are allowed to say things like that. I don't think we're allowed to say that there's so much joy. But just like any other emotion, like sadness, anger, jealousy, pain, whatever, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I'm actually processing joy today in a way that needs more attention than normal.
And feel it just in its bigness.
In its bigness. And being able to tell my body, no one is dying. There's no lion. There's no lion. You're just really, really happy and you're very overwhelmed with joy of being celebrated. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Even that requires processing.
What I'm interested to know, what were you doing before learning this in therapy? So like, were you running away to things or to people to avoid feeling? What were you doing?
Lashing out.
Okay.
I'm an expressive energy. So that's it. That's what I know. It's to use my words. Yeah. And I projected a lot. It was everyone's responsibilities to help me with my emotions. Why are you doing this? And why are you making me feel this way? And I need you to now decide what you're going to do about what you've just made me feel.
Change something.
Yeah.
So that, this is your work.
Be better.
Yeah.
Be better. So that I can be better. It was a lot of that. It was a lot of like being very reactive. I also recently tested for ADHD and I have mild ADHD. So combine those two. Really good, unprocessed, unfelt, unseen inner child. So outer child is always the one who's running the show, because I'm not meeting my own needs. So that it was a lot of that. And actually these relationships I look back on and I used to really defend, my big emotions but no, I just didn't know how to navigate. I've forgiven that Lydia. I have a lot of empathy for her. She didn't have the tools.
She didn't know.
She didn't have the tools. She didn't know why she was feeling the way that she was feeling. But it was mostly that, getting overwhelmed a lot, lots and lots of anxiety. I didn't realize before I stopped drinking that I used to be in social settings, like a way of helping me be more in my body. All things to try and help you.
First, congratulations on going sober.
Oh, right. High five.
Me too.
Yes. Love it.
How long has it been?
It's been 2 years and
wonderful.
About 9 months or so, something like that. I even stopped counting now.
Yes, because I do actually think because it's so socially accepted. In whatever forms, whether it's you're drinking every day or you're having the occasional wine with your dinner, whatever. Both of those are so socially accepted, and they can be a crutch, and they can be a place we escape to. And because it makes you feel good, even though it's just like short-lived, because in the morning, everything comes back plus anxiety. You use it as an escape, you know?
And you don't mean to, because that's what we are told to cope. Look at movies. Someone comes home, they're tired. Oh, pour me a glass. Pour me a glass. There, Ronald. You know? And there you're off. So it's just like we start seeing associations, you know? And I think for me, the thing why being alcohol free was the thing that feels like liberated me is that it's too easily accessible. It's too easily accessible. You know what I mean? There's many other ways of escaping, by the way, but it's like it's not like it's intentional. I've got to make a phone call. I've got to wait. No. This one is.
It's right there.
It's right there. You know. So I think I feel good about this decision because it felt like you've got to work hard and you've got to intentionally search out escapism. You've got to work. You've got to really go. You know, your phone also can also be a thing. I also, my anxiety stopped. I could not call myself an anxious person anymore. And I used to think that alcohol made me less anxious. It did not.
It was doing the opposite.
It was doing the opposite. And it's because it's that cocktail at lunch that you don't think, because you're not drunk, you don't think it's doing anything, then there's still going to be a countdown somewhere. And you don't know where the countdown is coming from. So there were things like that that just made me feel, also the hangovers. Guys, in my 30s, you guys want me to fight with the economy, dating, going to the gym, my knees, and hangover. Enough.
You know, that's so true.
Enough.
I never used to drink a lot, right? But then I just went, especially when I moved out of Nairobi, it would be too much logistics trying to figure out where to get a bottle of wine and like, when will I be near a wine bar or whatever. Then I just stopped because I was like, it's a headache. But this one time, after not drinking for a long time, I had one glass of wine and maybe, I think, a shot. And the next morning, so what woke me up was extreme dehydration. Like I felt like I was sick. So for a second I was like, oh no, I can't afford to get a flu now. Like I need my voice. I need to be for work, whatever. And it's only halfway through that panic that I was like, hang on. I remember this feeling. This is a hangover. And I was just like, this is not worth it. I'm now half-mast on a Saturday. Like, what? No, I think that's it. To be honest, people who say they don't have hangovers, I would continue drinking. Like, okay, there's no... go for it. As for me and my diabolical hangovers, because I was a tequila queen. Find me at the bar, 2-3 shots. We get high. And then like we topple down.
listen, I've had my days.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking since I was like 16.
Yeah.
So I just
okay.
passed the baton. I have
I've done
paid
it.
my dues. That's it. It's not even an uppity decision, by the way.
Yeah.
I've just paid my dues.
It's all right. You guys continue.
Carry on.
I love that. So can we touch on the work you're currently doing in therapy? Because which is unlearning shame, you said, right? I want to know the genesis of that.
Okay.
And I also want to know more of something you say where because even here, every episode starts with, we're creating a new generation of shame-free women. And you say shame-free over shameless. So tell me a bit about the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
And why you thought it was important enough to do that work.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about the two things, shame-free and shameless.
Fair. So I didn't know I was doing work with shame. I went to a casual therapy session. So there's I have a new therapist.
Okay.
She has background in neuroscience and also sociology.
Oh, that's yummy.
So sociology might as well be sociology / shame work.
Yeah.
Because society
For women
especially. Shame. Because society decides what the bar is.
Yeah.
Anyone who's outside of that bar, one way or another, the punishment is shame. And it's like on all level. It's colorism, it is weight, it is height, it is gender, it is everything.
Yeah.
So because of that, she picked up shame very, very early on. And so because I'm a public figure, society is a big part of how I exist. And whoever is elevated by society one way or another, you are going to be getting projected perfection. And the other side of perfection is shame. So that's where a lot of the work is. And also the way we are objectified by each other, by people around us, the way we objectify other people, all of that. Anytime you're being treated like an object in one way or another because you're being elevated for your work or whatever, anything, there's going to be some shame stuff happening there. So it just came up in conversation when I was talking about navigating social media. I don't even think it was about social media specifically. But she's the one who does the job. She tied the pieces together and then we started doing the shame work. So, and a lot of the problem with shame is that you carry it, you're embodying it, and you're putting it out. If I'm being projected and shamed, I'm doing it to other people, right? Constantly until I dissolve it. So that made it such a priority to me because I didn't want to be part of shaming other people, especially those around me. And so there's an exercise that she shared for me to do it. And it's exercise that allows you to kind of rewire your subconscious, right? It helps you put down your fears and your resentments. Once you put those are kind of where the center of shame is. It's fearful, it's resentful, it's those. Every single night since she told me to do it, I've been doing it. And when I tell you in 2 months, I'm literally I'm shaking tables. I'm shaking tables and I don't care. I didn't know how so full of fear I was. And you don't know that you are.
Because it's collective as well, right? And there's a reward for accepting the shame. Like you're punished for being shame-free, right? So when you're living with shame as a woman, and I dare say as an African woman, you don't realize it. You know something's off a bit, but society is rewarding you for living the way. Exactly.
There's a reward for
it. So it's hard to know.
And also, because of social media, there's displays of reward and shame. Reward and punishment are everywhere. So, if you're a woman, by the time you're 30, you get married, you have kids. There's a reward. There's a reward.
Immediate, right?
And there's a punishment. So we are being cued all the time about what to do. Right? So you also take on other people's being shamed and other people's being praised, like constantly. And so it's like this, we're just in this shame fest, especially on social media. You know what I mean? Wow, wow, yeah, great, perfect, da 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 da.
Terrible.
Bad, terrible,
Yeah.
it's everywhere,
Yeah.
you know? So it's you don't even know that you are. And I know when I say shame, people are just like, I'm not ashamed of anything. It's not like that. It's not those. It's the way you're making different decisions. It's in who you're even dating.
It's sneaky like that.
It's very, very sneaky.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about it. But now that I'm doing this work, I can see the difference. I'm like, oh, so this is who I am without fears and shame and all of these things that have been projected onto me. And this is who I was living as. And maybe outside you can't see it. And this is the terrible thing, that when you come off as confident, and I've never really been afraid of talking in front of anyone since I was small. That's just something I've seen my parents do. So I did. That's not where fear is. So people can't imagine. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean you feel shame?
Yeah.
You seem so shameless, shame-free. But yeah.
It's sneaky. Where was shame existing for you? Because I find it to be very sneaky because we're socialized into it. So it can show up in like small to big to in your face to not in your face ways.
Yeah.
From what you wear to the decisions you've made in your life, like the job you've decided to take, the person you've decided to settle down with, even the decision to settle down at all, right?
Yeah.
So I find it like it's hidden, it's tucked, and you have to kind of like.
And you think you're in control. You think you're making the decision.
No. So where did you find shame tucked away in your life?
Okay, so shame was tucked away in my job, which was very interesting because of I've done my degree and I've done my master's and I was to be a lawyer. So you can imagine how amplified and whoa, as a firstborn daughter, not necessarily just from like my family, just outside. That's like a really big thing. I'm the first person on my mom's side to graduate with my undergrad and master's. So there's a representation, you know. I think on my dad's side, I think I'm the second or the third, right? So it's like it was like a real big thing, and I felt so much pride about being a lawyer. By the way, since I was young, it was something that was like, oh, she's got an opinion, lawyer. But actually, somebody said that, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Somebody said that, you know, little girls who are just like opinions, you're like, you should be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Somebody said that that's the way aunties, that's a code word for you're being a little bitch.
Oh man, or like
That's
tone
what you
it
tell
down.
that's what you tell kids. Like, oh yeah, you should
language.
use that sass. You should use that sass for something productive, kind of. So that's how even wanting to be a lawyer became a thing. And so when I decided to be a content creator, and this is like 5 years ago, you know, this is not like when everybody wanted to be a content creator. This was more like, oh, okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And then from law, right?
You wanted to be, I decided to want to be in media. Then I was a talk show host, and there's some kind of like, oh wow, you're on TV that comes with it. But it's still not that. You know what I mean? It's still not like you went to school and you graduated and you did that. You get paid to post pictures. In short. You know what I mean? That's really what you're saying to your grandparents and your, you know, that's it. So I didn't realize that was a thing. And I realized, especially when I'm in corporate spaces or like when I do panels where there's like a psychologist and a therapist, and I'm just a psychiatrist, and a therapist, and I'm just like, so you do what exactly? You know, because I'm in an informal kind of career. That's one. The second one where it came through was in dating. I used to go in and out of. I feel fine. My life is really amazing. I am single in my 30s. Successful, enjoying myself, have great friends, have great families, and that felt really good. But every so often it would feel really wrong. And I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell why is it wrong. Because one of them is how I feel. The other one is how I'm supposed to feel. It's the should. How I'm supposed
that you've learned and been modeled to all your life.
That's the should. I should be doing. It shouldn't look like this. So that's another way that that shame came in. What's another way? Shame with dressing came when I relocated to Africa.
Really?
Yeah, in the UK it's just like, pum pum shorts out, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? It's summertime. You know, sun's out.
Stare.
I did not know I could hate the way I'm being looked at. It's diabolical. So I don't dress like the way that I would actually dress. And you see, the second I touched down in Europe, oh, there she is. That's the real Lydia. Because if you're not seeing my thighs,
Am I really Lydia?
Am I really Lydia? But I know now, it's like, I think so much about like, oh, I don't want to be looked at, especially in the daytime. And do you know what? It's so annoying to have these really shameful ideologies where we live in a whole country. Yeah. It's annoying. Yeah. So I've seen it in my clothes. What else? I've seen it in my playing small. Oh, I play small because I have a natural outness, a natural assertiveness. Yeah. So I see how I constantly trying to measure to make sure it's not too much for anyone. So yeah, I actually have a deep fear of being seen, apparently.
And many people do.
Yeah, and just because you're visible doesn't mean you're being seen. Yeah.
I love all of these because and dressing seems like such a, guys, is it that serious? No. It really is, because it's like an extension of your personality, your mood that day, right? There was recently a video I watched online and it made me start to take the stairs differently, because from when I was younger, my dressing or my look has always been very different to Kenyans, right? So I've had dreadlocks, I colored them, I cut them into a mohawk, then I had like only 2 left, and then I shaved my head off, and then so it's always been things. And you get the stares. But this video, there was a lady in front of a crowd, and there were people staring, and the speaker asks her, what do you think this person was thinking? And she said, oh, he's probably thinking that I'm not pretty enough, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, I was actually checking out your t-shirt. I know that band, and I really like them. There was someone else who was staring, and so she was like, what do you think this person was thinking? And she would always say something negative she thought they were thinking. And this other guy was like, actually, I am so stressed. I have ABCD to do. So like, I'm looking at you, but I'm thinking about like, I need to get out of here and do ABCD. And I remember thinking, that's what I'm going to carry with me. Really? I'm not immediately going to think when you're staring at me like, are my shorts too short? Am I offending people or whatever? I'm just going to be like, maybe you like my legs.
Yeah.
I maybe see you want these shorts. You know what I mean? And rewire it for myself so that I'm not. And if you are shaming me, which we know many people are,
definitely
none of my business.
None of my business. I feel like there's something I find disgusting, like really revolting, when, let's say, I'm wearing something short and there's a particular way a particular man looks at you. It's both lasting and also, who the hell do you think you are? I
know that one.
You know that look.
Like you want to take a shower, after they've looked at you.
Exactly. You feel disgusting. Yeah. This is a big part of why I don't, when I go to walk, I choose where I'm going to walk. Because I don't want that stare. I don't want that stare. Even sometimes it could be just like you're fully clothed, maybe it's like gym wear or something like that.
But still.
And again, it's a particular look from a particular man. It's not always that. You know what I mean? That look makes me feel sick. It actually makes me feel sick.
Do you know when I get it? And I hate that I get it. There's a particular mall I go to, and when they search the car, they open the driver's door, which I'm always like, I don't want you to do this. Just check the boots. Like, leave me alone. And you can see the guard. Well, I experience the guard looking at so if I'm driving and I have and I just kind of have to sit there. That's the one I hate, because I'm like, close my door. Like, and then I don't have control over this search.
Yeah.
First, I know I have nothing in my car to begin with. So why am I going through this?
Yeah.
That one, I'm always just like,
I don't know if I've ever spotted it.
It is so uncomfortable.
Now you've made me conscious of it. Thank you very much for that.
I'm sorry.
Thank you
I needed to share that, the trauma.
Express yourself. Share the trauma. I don't know if I've seen it, but it's the same feeling. Yeah. It's like, it's disgusting.
Tell me about playing small, though. Is it the fear of being seen, or is it the fear of being seen trying?
No, it's the fear of being seen, period. And being seen as me. Funny enough, we're actually talking about this. So I was sharing how this weekend, I'm not sure when you're going to see this, but as we're shooting now this weekend, I ran at the Stanchart Marathon. I did my first marathon. That was the 10 km I did, and I hit my PR. I've been training, and I've been training out loud. So it just felt like this big, beautiful moment. It was very exciting. that evening, we were celebrating my mom and stepdad's 5th-year wedding anniversary. My sister is here, like a whole thing. My family was celebrating even earlier. They came to the finish line at the marathon. Then there was that celebration. Yesterday, Monday, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have like nothing day, which I did. Turns out that because I finished my course on lifestyle and wellness coaching, my friend threw me a surprise celebration dinner. Overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed with love, and I'm being seen a lot. People are looking at me a lot, and not only that, they're looking at me from who I really am, because these are two things that align so much with my soul. It's easy to be looked at when it's like a costume. It's like, it's not something that I'm displaying my vulnerability, but these are vulnerable things that I'm being looked at. And I'm definitely overwhelmed. Even when everyone was going around the group, I was literally self-soothing all night. I was self-soothing all night. I was minimizing my achievements, like just trying to tell myself. And it's like your nervous system is now getting beyond the familiar territory. So now it's telling you, I don't care how good this looks. You need to go back to what we know.
This is danger.
This is danger. So I realized that there's many ways, like even sometimes in dynamics, I know it's like, oh, I'll be here with you because you get most of the spotlight. And I see that dynamic potentially in me and my friend Murugi. It's like, I get to be here. This is comfortable, you know?
Because I'm being seen, but you're being seen more.
Exactly.
So I can be like,
it's
safe.
It's very, very safe. And of course, it's not conscious. These are things I'm just realizing now. But I see now when it's like, I'm just on my own, right? And I'm doing my own thing. And I can see the limits I place on myself. Because this time I don't have anyone who I can stay covered by, you know, the person who's going to take all the heat. You know,
now it's just you.
It's just me. And now it's just like, whoa, Muruki, come, you should do a course as well, so that you should do this course with me so that I can kind of manage it. And actually, when I expressed this yesterday at my dinner, Murugi actually said the people who are very like, you know, out famous are a lot of times people who are most afraid of being seen 100%. Because I'm presenting this thing that's shielding you actually from truly being seen.
So true.
Because I'm visible, but it doesn't mean you're seeing me, you know? So it's a lot of work.
When you started talking, I actually thought when we're in this industry, we know how to do that very well. Easy. To pretend or perform vulnerability so that we shield the actual thing, right?
Yes,
so we know how to be larger than life and and you think you know me, but like you don't. I've really like kept
so far away. I'm so far away. There's moments where I've been able to be genuinely vulnerable because of the work that I do. Sometimes it's quite often hard to escape that vulnerability. But I've also realized it's like actually it's grief that's changed. This year, I've been forced to be vulnerable because I've known that it's so important to me to walk people through my journey with grief. And I couldn't have done it I'll tell you guys how it was 6 months ago. I need to share how it's like today. And that has been some serious, honest work. And to be honest, it's brought me out more to being able to be seen. Because I mean, if you can see me through grief, you've seen me naked.
Which is messy.
You have seen me fully naked. And because my cousin was somebody who I was such a obvious love of my life, so people could feel the way I was feeling. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this someone who I wasn't sharing. As important as they were, I wasn't sharing. I was sharing. So I know people know the pain I was feeling. And then to be able to share it, I've come out of myself so much more. And so even some of the things maybe I'm doing has been a consequence of being able to be that vulnerable, being able to have these goals out loud, let people see my process, go back to school, being celebrated. All those things have probably come out of me finally being like, no, playing small is now becoming boring. And the funny, do you know what my WhatsApp status has been for so long, like over 10 years now? Your playing small does not serve the world.
As you were playing small. And it was
I just thought of that right now.
Right? But it happens. You didn't know you were playing small, right?
To be my status.
Yeah.
No, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
It's not. It happens.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've been talking to myself this whole time.
But you weren't listening. You didn't know,
I didn't know.
right? I'm really sorry about your cousin.
Oh.
And I do think grief has, like you can know, there are two versions of me. Before I met grief and like after, and especially when you're grieving someone
A deep grief.
very close to you, someone maybe you saw every day, you had an emotional connection with. I do not think you can meet grief and leave the same person. Like you're completely, in a beautiful way, expanded. It's hard to see the beauty of it,
Yeah.
but like it really is beautiful because I find myself thinking, if my mom, I can't phrase it in another way, so it may come out insensitive, but like if my mom didn't die, I would never have met this particular version of me or who was able to do this particular thing. Grief, there is a beauty about how it breaks and expands you.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
Do you not hate that some of the best you came out of her passing?
Exactly.
Do you not resent that just by that? Like you hate it?
I just think life is contradiction. You know what I mean? So like the worst of things give you the best of things. The best of things give you the worst.
Yeah.
Because like love is beautiful, but then
It's
it
pain.
ends.
Yeah.
So there's pain, and then pain is also like terrible, but then it forces you to rebuild. So there's like that contradiction. You know what I mean?
I think maybe it's like it's 6 months
Yeah.
since she passed. So I still hate.
Of course.
That some of the best, like this version of me that's kind of sprouting out, confident, more self-assured, with so much clarity. I can see I'm a different person because of this grief. But I hate, I hate that this grapefruit came out of something so terrible. And by the way, the misconception is that people process grief. Some people don't process. Some people end up being shells of themselves, end up being in drugs and addiction and all sorts. And because grief is this thing that breaks you open, without the tools and the support, it makes sense.
Why you would break completely.
That you break.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. Anyone who says that someone died and then their life completely, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Help them if you can, but don't judge them.
Yeah.
Don't judge them. This is not a joke.
Because it's like grief is hectic. And it's you expand around it. You never handle it. And you go through seasons of knowing, okay, this is the toolkit. And then it's like, oh, that didn't work. This is the toolkit. And you just have to sit. And I always used to say, man, I used to think I experienced heartbreak. And I'm like, I look at all those men who I believe broke my heart, and I'm like, that was not a heartbreak. This one, this is a heartbreak. You know?
Literally laughed at it the other day that I went through a breakup and cried. Cried. I did a breakup workshop to help others do it. Valid, by the way. Valid.
Yeah.
But
grief was waiting for you, like, come, let me show you what heartbreak is.
Grief was like, I'll give you.
No problem. Do it.
Do that. This is the most devastating. Yeah, even go through the stages of grief. All valid. But when she died, I was like, oh, this is heartbreak. Oh, this
is something else.
The worst thing that has ever happened to me since I was born. I
feel you.
And now I empathize with grief in a different way. I can't even imagine your experience with losing your mom. It's like, and you know, people who've been through grief is like, you know.
Okay, no, you don't.
It's like, okay, so this person is grieving. So I know. And because it wasn't even my mom, it's like, I know there's a part that I don't know either.
Yeah.
And you know how to handle yourself around that. You know? People maybe who have never been through grief is like, you can even almost say like, you know, I know what I can imagine.
Yeah.
I know I can't.
Yeah.
I know
I used to think I could, even when a close friend lost her mom, I used to think, okay, I have the toolkit. And it's different because every relationship is different. So even like my sister's experience of grief, grieving the same person I'm grieving, very different from mine, and just giving
can't.
the grace to
Yep.
be like, and yeah, even me, my hands are full. It's hectic on this side. So let's talk about shamefree versus shameless. What's the difference?
I would say shameless. One, if I don't know if you've ever seen the show Shameless, if we use that as the definition, that's crazy work. So this is, and shameless also has its thing, right? Like I'm living this life which is outside what society expects of me, and I don't care, and I'm gonna do it. Whether or not what society expects of you is human decency, kindness, treating your children well, being a good father, being a good friend. Even if it's outside of things which, come on,
Are healthy. Yeah.
That's it. And living it. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So shamelessness is kind of like, even if some of those virtues are good, you don't mind existing outside of them.
Like politicians are shameless because they will steal, and stealing, we know, is not a thing.
It doesn't matter. So that is shameless to me by definition. I also think shameless tends to be something that people are branded when the tomatoes of shame are constantly thrown at them and they keep standing. So I think it's something people brand so that they can have less empathy and they can have even more ammo to throw their tomatoes of shame on you.
This is why we're
exactly.
shaming you,
And how, think about people who are constantly being called shameless. I'll speak of two examples. Lydia Wanjiru, Murugi Munyi. Right? And which people are shamed so much. They're two of the most shamed people constantly on social media. And they're the ones who are being called shameless. So it's more of a badge of honor. Here you go. You haven't fallen after we've been shaming you consistently.
Let's
You're
do
shameless.
round 2.
And
see.
And it's another way to objectify and to not see people as a human being. To me, that's my definition. And it's okay if other people have a different one. Shame-free is a personal experience. You can't call me shame-free. Nobody else can call me shame-free because you don't know. Shame-free is an internal journey. It's the walk, it's the how I feel, it's the root and the intention of how I'm moving. And that's why I own shame-free, because that's what you can tell me. And even shameless, Murugi doesn't identify as shameless.
People have branded her,
You've
right?
branded me. It's another way to stamp some random label that you don't know about me. On top, I don't know about Lydia Wanjiru, but that's it. So it's another branding that's inconsistent, another way of objectification. But shame-free, I can tell you. That's a story I can tell you. And I can walk with you, you know? And shame-free is a journey because you constantly unearth. You know, it's like these levels to this. I thought I was, turns out I was not. And now maybe I'm on step 1. And maybe there's other layers to, you know, it's a constant journey of evolution, of expanding how I show up in a way that I am showing up authentically, not authentically in the way we throw it around, in the way that I am moving from my center. What do I want? What do I need? And moving it. And because of my virtues and my values, shame-free also exists within the confines of kindness, compassion, you know, truth-telling. It also has those parameters that bring comfort to me.
I love that so much because I feel like I understand. I've never heard the two being defined so succinctly. And also when you talk about once you're on this journey of becoming shame-free, your empathy levels increase, your capacity to judge others decreases. And especially for women, we have so much internalized shame that we don't even notice when we're projecting shame on another woman because she's living a shame-free life that you maybe subconsciously, you probably not even conscious about it, but you want that. You know what I mean? So you're like, how dare you do that thing? I'll give you a short story. I remember when I was much younger, I must have been a teenager, and I was in the passenger seat. My mom was driving. We're on this road and we see this girl with long, bright, white braids. This was back in the day. Like now it's a trend. Back then it's like, what's going on? And I actually say, why would she, like, why her braids white? I say something very unkind about her hair. And my mom was like, you're in this car now. How is that hair? Like, how is it touching you? How? And I kind of was like resenting because she was my best friend and I was just like, well, you're not on my side.
Hello.
We're here trying to... And it's only years later, I hadn't started playing around with my hair. But I remember looking back and thinking, I got dreads. I started dyeing them whatever color. I was like, maybe back then I wanted that and I didn't know I wanted it. So I was shaming this young girl for doing something that I wanted. So when you're on a shame-free journey, it not only liberates you, but I think it in turn liberates other women because now you're not shaming them, right?
100%. That is such a beautiful story. There's a quote I had said ages ago. I just kind of blurted it out and it kind of became a thing. When I said that if you're comfortable in the cages that you've confined yourself to, it's gonna bother you that I'm free. This is what we are exchanging. This isn't about hair or your earrings or your jeans or your nails. It's about freedom.
Yes.
I am here in the confines of this cage, which, by the way, the key is always with you. The key is always with you. So because there's resentment towards yourself about not unlocking it and getting out, how dare you be out?
I want to see you in that prison.
Who do you think you are? Because that's it. We all want to be that. So it's like it triggers that part of you. And then instead of internalizing, because we don't have the tools all the time, we don't know how to process and feel ourselves, I'm going to attack the thing that's out. I'm going to project those insecurities. And I catch myself too. And another thing about being shame-free is that it's a journey. I catch myself, you know, maybe if I see someone with like a skirt now that's too many beyond my own confines. It's like, oh, I warrant to shame. Like, oh, now this is too much.
Too much.
Because even though I'm saying I'm shame-free and my confines are a bit more flexible, it's not like that. So you know what I mean?
I get
And that's
you.
what I'm saying. It's with the levels. Because sometimes I say with other women, I'm just like, Lydia, you need to go back to shame-free school. Go back. Because these girls are doing it. And it's a constant evolution and listening to yourself so that you don't also go into what people think is like freedom. So for example, you start defining freedom again within the confines of society. So maybe freedom now you think is being promiscuous, right? We've been with 10 people this week. That's okay. Do your best. But now it's because you think that's what freedom is. So now that's like, we are over here. Then maybe you change your mind. You're like, it's actually not, don't try and define it. I think shame-free is about going into the center. And then whatever feels good from there is yours. Anything else, it belongs to this society that hates you. Yep.
Especially women, man. But what do you do, Lydia, to... are there things in your morning routine, in your entire day routine, to ensure that like you're still touching base with yourself, you're still on your shame-free journey?
Oof, I love this question. When they ask me for a good routine, I say it right up. I think we all want freedom. We all want to be able to process our emotions, to be our best selves, but that's hardly ever where we invest our most time. Right? We kind of invest in the thing that you can display. Because, you know, society, we've got to all validate each other on social media. You know what I mean? So for me, I have always meditated. It's been like over 10 years now. At least 5-10 minutes. If I don't have 5 to 10 minutes, I need to take a week off. You know? So 5 to 10 minutes, silence your mind. As soon as I wake up, actually the way my routine is now is I wake up and I dump. So dumping is every single thought that's coming. As it passes, you bring those curtains. Oh my God, they need to be washed. My sister said this, I need to diarize that.
No order.
No order, just morning dump. Then after that, I meditate. 5-10 minutes, sometimes 20 if I have the time, quieting my mind, stillness. Then I pray. Then I listen to gratitude affirmations. That is my routine every day. And it's literally just so simple.
I love that.
Once I pray, I get out, I listen to my affirmations as I'm doing my bed. So that's my morning. Evening, I have the shame and resentment. So the way it goes, and it might be out of context, and so it's okay if you don't understand, because like my therapist said that when she talked me through it, I could understand it because it was within the context of what I was talking about. So I'll just say it, but if it doesn't make any sense, it's fine. So essentially you write, I resent dash because I fear dash. So, and resent is anything you don't like. You didn't like the way someone said hello. You didn't. And then because I fear dash, because almost everything we don't like, there's some fear towards it. There's also another exercise, which is I fear dash because dash. Just pouring out your fears. I do that, and then I meditate for 5 or 10 minutes, pray and sleep. So those are the non-negotiables of my life.
And is the you said it's called what?
Resentment and fears exercise.
Yeah. Are you writing based on the day or whatever is in your
whatever
mind?
Whatever comes up, because even some of it is like outpouring work from therapy that I need to do resentment works on. So anything, whatever is coming up, I just pour it on. Yeah. And that has helped the day to end there. When I tell you my day ends there, the next morning when people are talking about like, oh yeah, did you know she felt what? It's gone. The day ended. Yeah. The day ended. Yeah. And it feels like a fresh start. That resentment exercise, my therapist told me initially, nothing is going to transform your subconscious like this. You know, I'm just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
It did.
It has transformed me. I own when I feel fears. I own it. I don't project it. I'm getting less and less of a projector because I'm aware of what's happening within me. Yeah. Oh, I didn't like that. That has nothing to do with her. Yeah. That has nothing to do with her. I want you to see what the fear is. And that doesn't mean that if somebody, let's even say Adele decides to call me a bitch, that won't affect me. And now I'll be like, no. That's not her. It's me. No.
That would be unhealthy.
That would be weird. And we're existing in a social situations. We are always interacting. So there's things people need to own. And I can have boundaries about how I'm being treated. But now I'm more aware of like, why did that rub me the wrong way? Because even the word bitch could be different to you than to me. Yes. So I want to know why it's different to me. And I want to process that. So that even if I'm drawing boundaries, I know it's for you. It's a you thing. Yes. Yeah.
That is so wonderful because there's something that I listened to where this doctor was talking about how your mind, I don't want to say brain because I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah. But how you can reframe. Yeah. So he was talking about like the traumatic things we've gone through, or maybe the shame. I'm going to add this onto his list, but things like shame that we have taken on. Yeah. I think sometimes people don't start their shame-free journey because it's like, what's the point? I'm already here. Like, yeah. But what he said was so powerful because he was like, you're able to reframe and retrain your mind in record time. Yeah. Like it is like a muscle and it's going to adapt faster to you reframing your mind to this new way of healthy thinking. So don't give up. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how bad of a challenge you've navigated. It is possible to reframe it. 100%, and I just thought, wow, how liberating.
Yeah. Our brains have neuroplasticity. It's not the way we thought was like fixed, done. This is it, you know. It's elastic, so you can mold it, you know. And I'm constantly utilizing that with my brain, learning new skills, trying things that are scary. All of that starts creating a very different version. But I do empathize with just going through a ridiculous amount of trauma, so much pain that you're like, I don't want to look there. Yeah, I don't want to look. I don't want to look because one, I don't know if I can handle unearthing because I've been coping by protecting myself, by keeping it in there. That's how I've been surviving. And I just don't want to look there because I don't know if I outpour it, if I actually have the capacity to handle what's inside. I empathize with that. The second thing is, what if I'm completely different after it? And my entire life structure, you have this podcast. You don't want that. You don't want these earrings anymore.
Scary.
You don't want to do it. It's scary to imagine that if maybe on the other side of the door is a different person who hates everything about my life. And here I am married with kids. What am I going to do? So there's that fear of who you could potentially be and how those changes could affect all around. Yeah. But what I've got to say is that I don't know anyone who has invested in walking down that road of healing and come out hating and regretting it. Because it's not that you become a different person. is that you become yourself. Trauma is informing you and clouding you. And I used to tell my therapist that I felt like sometimes trauma and the things we experience and all the ways we are shamed and things, it becomes like sunglasses. It's like rose-colored glasses. So that's how you're walking around. And you think that that's the way life looks like. Healing is taking them off.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, so this camera is black. I don't like it. I want it different. Therapy is meeting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the single ladies out there, therapy is not so that you can meet anyone else. Therapy is so that you can meet yourself. Because I know this, even with conditioning with therapy, is that if you heal enough, you get your man. If you heal enough, maybe your mom will stop. If you heal, the reward for healing is meeting yourself.
Which is the best reward
ever. Best feeling in the world. To be at home with yourself, to love on yourself, to feel safe with yourself, you know, to be able to anticipate and meet your own needs like the way maybe your parents didn't. You know, I was actually asking the other day, I heard somebody ask a question. How are we blaming our parents for things we do to ourselves now? How do you ignore yourself? How do you not meet your needs? How are you unkind to yourself?
Yes.
How are you being the way you constantly blame your parents for?
Yeah. And what are you doing about it? Because if you blame, nothing gets healed. There's no work you're actually doing to undo the harm that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Lydia, you are just so inspiring. Like, has been like, you've taken us to church, you know? Shame-free church. As we wrap, what can you tell the woman who's watching this, who is about to start her shame-free journey or is scared of starting it? I know you've given us so many gems, but like as we wrap, what's the one thing you want to leave her with?
Right. I think shame makes you think that you're not worthy of the reward that comes with the work. So you avoid the work, but it's not the work you're avoiding. It's everything you can become if you do the work. So I want to tell you that you are deserving of that woman that's calling inside you, because that discomfort you're feeling that's making you want to lean in and do the work, that woman exists and she's screaming at you. And it's probably like your authentic self saying, please let me out. You deserve to be her. You deserve the life that comes with her. You deserve the career that comes with being her. You deserve the marriage, the kids, the family, the setup that comes with her. Everything that you're envisioning, you deserve it. And you are worthy of that, being that woman. And staying where you are is fine, because I support women's rights and wrongs. But what could the world be if you were that woman? So you deserve it. Lean in and do the work.
This is incredible. I feel like this is the best way to start season 3 of For Mannerless Women. Like, because we're just leaning into being shame-free, even when it comes to the term of you being a mannerless woman. It's good. It's a compliment.
Listen, it is what it is. I don't see a woman who was good mannered do anything that was like, wow. Changing, life-changing.
And so thank you for the work that you do. And thank you for the resources that you're also sharing. So if you check out the description of this episode, Lydia has put together this list of wellness practitioners, therapists, to make it easier for you to find them, so you don't go through the process that she did, which is just so incredible for you to do. So thank you for that. You'll also find links as to where you can find Lydia online. Like, she shares a lot of inspiring content that will definitely help you along your shame-free journey. But we're back, season 3. Before I tell you what could be coming next, check out our wonderful set. And we have to say a big thank you to Baskets Kenya. I know their name only has baskets, but they do incredible stuff. They have Malawi chairs. They have incredible woven artifacts from Ghana. They have everything you need to improve the look of your house that you could gift someone. So if you check out the description, you can find out what are the things, these incredible things I'm talking about, that they stock. And they are our set partner for this season. So we're back. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode. And also If you loved this episode, if you resonated with it, make sure you share it with all the mannerless and nearly mannerless women in your life.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I felt like I could not.
Yeah,
I love talking to you.
Oh, wow.
I love talking to you.
That is so wonderful.
We had a call.
Yeah.
And I feel like, why is she cutting me short? Why are we wrapping up? I feel like, let's plan a lunch.
Yes.
Let's just put out, because we have such synergy.
Yes.
The way that you think, the work that you are doing makes me feel like pulled in more into my light.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I've really, really loved this. Really, really loved this.
Oh my goodness. Can I tell you something? I know we were wrapping, but like, guys, 2 seconds. So you know how you're talking about things you say in the morning or that you do your morning routine? Yeah. So I started doing this thing in reframing my mind. I say 3 things. I say, today's going to be a great day. And sometimes I'll even say why I think it's going to be a great day. Nice. So in my head, it's like, I'm looking out for that greatness. And then I say, something cool is going to happen. Yeah. And then I say, you really should give yourself more credit for how far you've come. And this morning I was tired. We've been shooting this season and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't get my normal hours of sleep. And in the morning, I woke up at 6. I couldn't do my morning walk because, you know, set days, hectic shooting days. And I said, okay, the one thing I am going to keep doing is my 3 sentences. I said, something cool is going to happen. While I'm driving into Nairobi, I'm like, something cool is going to happen. I'm so sleep deprived, but something cool is going to... And this is the cool thing.
Oh my God,
This is so kind of you to say. Because I'm just like, when you said it, and I was like, this has never happened, 3 seasons. This is a cool thing.
No. I'm so glad.
So we're doing lunch.
Yeah, and I'm representing everyone what we maybe wanted to say, but because I'm such a yappa, I'm happy to say it. Yeah, you have great conversation. The way that you think. Everyone, did you watch when she was talking? Where did you do it? I told you the interview. It's not an interview. You are presenting. The
moth.
Yeah.
Is it the moth? The storytelling
I think so.
one? I can't remember. Yes.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Thank you.
You're doing it. Yeah, as a feminist African woman.
I've taken it. It feels good to be seen.
Oh my God, take it. I see you. I see you. I do. Yeah.
I think let's just wrap. But share this episode so you can hear Lydia say such nice things about me.